Hi guys, and welcome to the world of Beth. As you might have guessed, today is another makeup day. I was just fooling around earlier because for once it's a Monday and I have nothing to do. So I decided to play with some makeup. My favourite colour is blue, so I went with some blues and I found it was remarkably easy, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. You're going to need a few things for today. It looks like a lot, but really it's not that much. So obviously I've already done my foundation and primed my face. I will leave a card at the end to link to how to apply your foundation before you get started on this. Now, the few staples that you will need is your Beauty Glazed Over the Rainbow Colour Fusion palette. Really important. This is an optional. It is the Pressed Glitter by Beauty Glazed. I wanted mine just to go a little bit more ding, so I went with a little glitter. You will need mascara of choice. I like Max Factor Lash Revival. It contains bamboo extract and it's really nice for your lashes. It strengthens and conditions. You're also going to need a blue Khol pencil and a liquid black eyeliner. On top of this you will need an eyeshadow primer. Now I use a cream, but if you have more wrinkles around the side of your eye and in this part of your eye here, I'm going to do this side so I don't mess up the makeup on the other side, I recommend using a liquid over a cream. Now I'm also using two different eyeshadows today alongside the Beauty Glazed palette, and that's just a clear white, literally clear white, and a shimmer blue. Both of these are by a company called Model's Own. Now these are €1 each, so none of this makeup is expensive. You're also going to use a few brushes today, but mainly just for blending. So if you've got a brush set from, like a basic brush set from Amazon, I'm going to be using a tapered blending brush 6, medium shader brush 2, contour brush 3, eye crease brush 8, and eyelash and eyebrow 12. This is the fine one to do the under the eye work. The majority of the time today I'm going to be using medium shader brush 2. So before you start, make sure you have the other staples, which are a few cotton buds standing by to make any mistakes go away, or just to mop up any excess water in your eyes, and also a glass of clean water with a little bit of No More Tears shampoo to clean your brushes as you go along, to make sure there's no extra pigment on the brushes before you use your next colour. Now the last thing we're going to use today is masking tape. Yes, you heard and saw that right, masking tape. So what we're going to do is we're just going to take a little bit of masking tape, maybe a couple of inches, no more. And what we're going to do is we're just going to apply it to our eye really gently. And this means we're going to get this really nice straight line as I've got here. And you're not going to go over it, and it's masking tape, and if you've put your foundation and primer on properly, taking it off, literally I swear it does not hurt at all. Also keep a few tissues handy. You will see me dabbing up my nose a little bit today. I have my AC on and it makes my nose run, so apologies in advance for that. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to get your primer, and we're going to start with our medium shader brush. Now I know there are actual brushes for concealer, I don't have one. Or I do, but it's really big and it doesn't fulfill my need for this. So I'm a firm believer of using what works for you, and this works for me. So I really don't care what it says on the brush. This is what I'm using it for. So I'm going to take my my eyeshadow primer, and I'm just going to put a little primer onto the brush. Now we're going to use the eyeshadow primer a couple of times today to get this look, because the colours are quite similar, so we want them to stand out. So first of all, we're going to take the brush and we're literally going to do our whole eye. Colour it in, ladies and gentlemen, right out to the edge, right up in the corner. If you have to refill a couple of times, don't worry too much. But we're going to go right up, because although, as you can see, we're not going to have eyeshadow really high here, we are going to want to blend in this area. So having some eyeshadow primer on there first will just make that job a lot easier for you. And of course it will make the colours stand out much more nicely as well. So we're also going to take a little bit of the primer and we're just going to put it in the lash line, being careful to avoid the fine lines under your eye. And you can just use your little finger to blend that in a little bit so it's not standing out too much. Okay, so once your eye is eyeshadow primed, we're going to clean off our brush because we're going to use it straight away again. So we're going to clean it off. Now usually I've got a tissue and I just pat it down and make sure all the colour's off, but because this is a cream, I'm going to use a tissue just to really get in there and make sure all the cream is off, because you don't want that cream to mix in with your eyeshadow, especially as the first colour we're using is white. And obviously any extra pigment or anything else, if you're using a white eyeshadow, is just going to make it go a different colour, and we want this really nice white that we've got here because it really opens up your eye. Okay, so my brush is nice and clean now and there is no excess colour on it. So we're going to take our white eyeshadow. The reason I'm not using the Beauty Glaze Colour Fusion for this one is, strangely, there is no white in it. I don't know why. Maybe because white isn't in the rainbow and this is the Over the Rainbow palette. I don't know. But this one from Model Zone is really lovely, and as I said, it's just €1. I'm not sure if it's available in the UK, but Rimmel do a lovely line of low-cost eyeshadows. So we're going to take, as usual, our brush and we're just going to gently but firmly pull down to deposit some colour onto your brush. Doing it in this manner means you're not doing this, and that's going to break up your eyeshadow and it won't last for as long. So blow off any excess, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to do the corner. Now I know this looks kind of the same colour as the primer, but that's kind of the idea. You want to keep that primer colour there. So we're just going to go into the corner. You might need to go over the white a couple of times to get the desired effect. Also remember that mine is going to be heavier on here, so you can see what I'm doing at home. So I'm just going to come round the eye in like a C shape here. Just blend it in. You'll know at home when you're doing this if you find it too cakey. If you do, stop. Don't have to do 2 or 3 coats like me. I'm doing that purely so that you can see better at home what I'm doing. Now if you get any in the delicate under eye line, where we are all prone to fine lines and wrinkles after a certain age. Use our trusty cotton bud just to take that away, and then just make sure you're just getting the eyeshadow into the lash line. Okay, so again, now we're going to clean this brush. This isn't going to take too long to clean because white is nice and easy to get out. And we're going to move to our Beauty Glazed Over the Rainbow palette. And we're going to use this blue here. Now I know it appears a little bit greenish. I'm trying to get it with the light, is difficult. Okay, I know it appears a little bit greenish, but it's not. It's actually a nice sort of teal light blue. So again, we're going to take a couple of strokes downwards, pressing gently but firmly. I'm going to take off the excess. And then what we're going to do is go from where our white finished before, and we're just going to deposit a little colour in the centre, like a little line of colour, and then make it a little lower down towards the inner eye, so you've got like a little triangle of colour. And this will be your basis for blending out into the darker colours here, and then that nice sparkly blue here. Okay, so once you have this little triangle done, you need to clean off your brush again, because again, you're going to be using this a lot. Make sure it's nice and clear when you're rinsing it in your water and you're checking it off with your tissue and drying it. You want to see no pigment there, just some water. If you're seeing pigment or any kind of colouring, go back, rinse it again, make sure that it's definitely clear. Otherwise you're going to end up with running colours, and you don't want that. So we go back to our Beauty Glazed Over the Rainbow, and this time we're going to take this nice purple just here. This one just here. Okay, so we're going to press down gently but firmly, blow off any extra, and this is where we're going to start to get some shape and definition. So we're going to just go down as far as the corner and up to the point of the top of the kind of triangle that we've done, and then the same underneath. And again, we're going to make this kind of C shape. Just so it meets at the bottom. If you need a couple of extra, that's fine. But you're just going to have, following your tap tap tap, follow your eye socket bone into this C shape. I know it looks messy right now, but you're going to blend it in a second and it will be absolutely fine. Okay, so now you have this lovely C shape of purple. Again, apologies for the constant blowing of nose, but AC. I live in Spain, it's very hot here. So don't clean this brush yet, because you may want to put a little bit more colour once you've started to blend. So now I'm going to take my, what's it called? Contour Brush 6, which we're not going to be using for contouring today. And we're just gently going to blend this colour into our socket line, or our brow bone, our eye socket bone. I'm not an anatomist, I have no idea what it's called. Here, we're just going to blend it here. So there's not a huge amount left. It doesn't matter if it goes over a little bit, we just want to tame it down. It's just going to be for this highlighting at the top here. So you won't see this much purple when we're finished. Okay, so tiny little circles to blend it in. And I've put enough on this time, so I don't think I'm going to need to put any more. So I'll clean the other brush. Now I'm going to take a cotton bud and just bring it down a little bit, because we don't want it too high. We want it to match the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to clean my medium shader brush too, and in case you ever want to get these from Amazon, which is where I got them, they're called Ranmor, which is R-A-N-M-O-R. They were really cheap. They were like €10 for about 30 brushes. I still don't know what about 3/4 of them do, but if they follow what I need them to, it's not really a problem. So yay, embrace your weirdness. Okay, so what we're going to do now, before we move on to anything else, is we're going to use a little bit more of the eyeshadow primer. So again, make sure this brush is really nice to clean, because you don't want to get any pigment at all into your primer. If you do that every time you prime your eyes, you're going to have problems. Now obviously I've got a cream, so this wouldn't be a problem with a liquid so much, but as I'm using a cream, I have to make sure that my brushes are completely pigment free. So I'm just going to go back to my primer, and I'm going to take just a little extra primer on the edge, and then I'm just going to colour in the area that we didn't colour with the purple. I'm going to take it up to the corner of the little greenish blue triangle we put in. And just up a little bit into the purple, because as I said, we just want it as this highlight here. We don't want all of this purple here. So I'm going to take it down a little bit further as well. And this will mean in a second, when we put the blue on, it will be really nice and bright. And a nice vibrant colour. Okay, so now as you can see, we've got this nice bright white area ready to put our blue on. So now we're going to go back to our Beauty Glazed Over the Rainbow palette, and this row of eyeshadows in the middle are all shimmer eyeshadows. So we're going to be using shimmer blue here. So again, we're going to use quite a lot of this, so gentle but firm, gentle but firm. One thing I love about Beauty Glazed is the pigments don't break at all, pushing them down. It's a really, really lovely low-cost brand, and I can't recommend them enough. Okay, so now we're going to colour in here, and as you can see, it comes up really bright, really quickly, and that's because we've added in the extra primer. And I know at the moment it looks like lots of different colours, but don't worry, when you blend it, it will end up with this seamless kind of look. So because we've put primer on, you're going to want to use a couple of applications of the shimmer blue from the palette, because the primer kind of eats it up. And at this point you want to kind of start going across where your initial triangle was placed. Okay, so now we have the blue on there. We're just going to take a break from our eyeshadow for a second, and we're going to apply the first part of your eyeliner. So I'm just going to clean my brush off quickly, because we will come back to that, but with a new colour in a second. So I suggest at this point you do the same. Just quickly clean off your brush. Okay, So what we're going to do now is we're going to take our blue eyeliner. Now if you're using Khol eyeliner, especially at the moment because it's the summer, make sure you've had your Khol eyeliner in the fridge for about half an hour before you intend to use it. That way you'll get a nice fine line. I am so sorry about the tissues. That way you'll get a nice fine line and it won't just go spludge when you put it onto your face. Okay, so following the line from under your eye, from your underlash eye, and then you're just going to follow the masking tape. So you should be able to see the blue coming up on the masking tape, which is lovely, because that means you're going to have a really nice, fine, pointy line on it. I'm going to take it down, I'm going to take it under our eye, about a third of the way. Now at this point we're also going to go across from the corner of the eye to create that nice flick that we're looking for. Don't worry, we are going to go over this with liquid eyeliner, so you will be able to see the line better, but you should be able to see it developing as I'm doing it now. Do not go past the edge of the purple eyeshadow that we put on, because you don't want your eyeliner to come out further than your eyeshadow. And at this point you're also going to put a little bit on the inner eye here, just to bring it up from the corner of the eye, the corner of the inner eye, up to your eyelashes. Now this doesn't have to be very dark at all, just to give a little bit of light to your eye. Okay, so now, once I blow my nose for the, I don't know, 100th time, you could make a drinking game of this at home. Literally, every time I blow my nose, take a shot of something. Your makeup will probably look terrible at the end of it, but you'll have a giggle. Okay, so now we're going to do a little bit of blending. So I'm taking my tapered blending brush. Yay! I'm finally using the right brush. And this time we're just going to blend those blues and that into that purple. Little circular motions right the way across into our original bluish green triangle. So you should be able to now see that it's starting to nicely blend together, and that will partly be because of the eyeshadow primer that we put on. So you want to kind of bring it up until all that's left is a little purple at the edge. Okay? We're actually nearly finished, so there isn't that much further to go, don't worry. Okay, so once you've finished blending that part, you're going to go back to your medium shader brush, the one we've been using all along, and this is where I'm going to be using this lovely bright Model's Own. It's called Toxic. Yay! Now I've got the song in my head. Go away, go away, go away. Okay, so we're going to take quite a lot of this because it's a beautiful shimmery colour. And we're going to start from the inner eye, coming up over that original triangle. So it's going to go down a little bit, but we're going to keep the majority of this area clear and white. Okay, and then you're going to take that colour and you're just going to put it over more or less where the teal colour was at the beginning. And then maybe bring it down a little bit. There. Okay, again, we're going to blend this, so don't worry too much. Okay, it's at this point I'm going to take some of this and I'm also going to place it under my lash line. Into nearly the corner, about 2/3 of the way in. Remember, we want to leave this part here white. Okay, so once that's done, clean off your brush because you're just going to go back to your white and then you're pretty much finished with the eyeshadow. It's just time for the eyeliner and the mascara. So I'm just going to clean off my brush quickly because obviously I'm going to use white now, and you definitely don't want to get, like with your primer, any other colour on your white, because then your white is useless from then on. You will always have a tinge to it of whatever colour you've used before. I've lost so many white eyeshadows over the years because I haven't cleaned my brushes properly, because I've been impatient and I'm like, I just want to get it done. Patience comes with age, as does wrinkles, fine lines, and going when you stand up. Okay, so my brush is clean now, and I'm just going to take a little more of that lovely white that we used at the beginning, and I'm just going to put a little bit more here so that when it comes to blending in a second, it will have a lovely tiered effect. Okay, so then we go back to the only brush we're probably using correctly today, which is the Tapered Blending Brush 6, and we're just going to blend down a little bit into the white, but majority of it will stay white, and you're going to blend that shimmer blue across your eye. You just want to bring it down so it's kind of like a tapered triangle to this part. Okay. Now, if you've dropped any pigmented eyeshadow here, do not wipe it off. Do not. You have two options. You can either use store brand like baby wipes, or you can just get a cotton pad, dab it with a little bit of water, not much, and then tap, 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 and the colour will come off. You may need to go over with a little primer afterwards, just to make sure, because obviously now I've taken some of my foundation off. Cry. If you want to put a bit of masking tape here to catch it, you can also do that, but obviously as you get older I wouldn't recommend that, because it's going to pull at the fine lines of your skin. So I'm just going to quickly use my beauty blender like I did earlier to take away that. And we're done. Okay, so the last thing that we're going to do before the mascara and then we're finished is we're just going to take our liquid eyeliner. Now again, I like using an inkwell, but if you prefer using a liquid pen or anything else, it is completely up to you. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at the edge of where the purple is, and we want to get a line going from the bottom of our lash line, top lash line, out towards the masking tape, and just going in a straight line. Doesn't matter if you go over, because remember the masking tape is protecting your skin, so you can basically just fill in. And because we've got quite a lot of primer on, you will probably need a couple of goes in your inkwell. Now I'm not going to go the whole eye across, I'm just going to fill in like a triangle And then again, we're just going to do the corner of the inner eye up to the lash line for a little extra definition. I also apologise if you hear any fighting sounds in the background. My husband has recently been playing Yakuza on the PS4 and he is addicted, and a lot of it is brawling and street fighting. If I can hear it with my headphones on, I'm pretty sure you guys at home can hear it too. So we're not running some kind of illegal fight club, it's just my husband playing computer games too loudly. I'm sorry. Okay, so now we're going to gently take away our masking tape. And as you can see, it's a perfectly straight line with absolutely no, well, it's a straight line. What else can you say? It's a straight line. So the last thing you're going to do today is take your mascara of choice. As I said, mine is Max Factor Lash Revival. You're going to start at the base of the eye lash, going in zigzags up to the tip. Going in zigzags will help separate your eyelashes. Now, depending on how dramatic you want it, you may need 1 or 2 coats. I think I put 3 on my other eye, but that's because I like dramatic looks. And hey, we're wearing face masks a lot at the moment, so if our eyes can't be dramatic, what can? Not like we can show off the wonderful lipsticks I bought recently. Yay! We have to wear masks. What does Beth do? Buy new lipstick. Okay, so once you put a little on the top and a little on the bottom, you are going to grab yourself your eyelash brush. Make sure it's clean and there's no residue left over anywhere, and very carefully just use it to separate out your eyelashes because we don't want any clumping, and this will just give you a much wider-eyed look, bright-eyed and innocent. Okay, so while we're waiting for our first coat of mascara to dry, we're just going to take a cotton bud and just do any tidying up we need. So for example here, I've got some into the fine lines which I don't want, so I'm just going to take that out. Don't want to emphasize those, and I'm just going to quickly go around and clean it up a little. Now here, if you want to add in some highlighter to make this area pop, you can. So I have my highlighter powder here, which is impossible to open. I'm so glad I didn't paint my nails before I started this. Grab a highlighting brush, round in circles, just highlight in here and here a little, and then down onto your cheekbone if you want. And this will just really make the area and the eyes pop a little bit extra. Okay, so now we can quickly do that last coating of mascara, and then our eye is finished. It's always best to tilt your head back when you're putting your mascara on. This gives you less chances of hitting your eyelid with your mascara wand, and obviously we've just spent ages colouring this in. We don't want to take it off because we've hit it with mascara. If you do, the best thing to do is leave it to go dry. Use a dry cotton bud once it's dry to gently tap away at cleaning off where the mascara is, and then recover over with whatever colour eyeshadow was there. So remember, when we do our bottom lashes, we're not focusing on the top of them, we're focusing on the bottom for length. And same at the top. On your second coat, focus at the tip, because it will build up the length. And voila, we are finished. So now we're just going to let our hair down, because why not? And we have blue and a little bit of purple statement eyeshadow. And what could be better, considering we have to wear a face mask? So at least we've got nice, beautiful, bright eyes. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. That will be the last shot you have to take, I swear. If you've got any questions about the products I've used, I will list them in the description for you. I hope you've enjoyed it today. If you have, please give us a like and a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. Every single subscription really helps me. And if you've got any questions, or you'd like me to do certain colours, been always wanting to try yourself but haven't quite had the confidence to, I'm happy to try any colours you like. Just pop a question in, just pop a comment in the comment section, and I will add you to my growing list of different colours to play with. So stay safe, and I will see you next time. Bye guys.